There are three things you can do today to make your marriage better. Listen, it is not as challenging as you think. It may take a little time and certainly take a little effort, but you can have a better marriage by Christmas. So today I just want to share with you three things that I believe you can do immediately to make your marriage better. And the first being, remember who you are, like remain an individual in your marriage. Many times, particularly as women, and I was guilty of this too, when we get married and if we have children, we lose ourselves in the relationship. We make our entire life, whether intentionally or unintentionally, about our spouse, our marriage, our family, the home. Like we take on everything. And so we get lost in that. We begin to completely forget who we are, the things that we enjoyed doing before we got married. I've even seen some situations where perhaps if you got married really young and you didn't know, like you didn't know what your passions and dreams were before you got married. So you decided that you would make marriage the passion and the dream. But in there, in the years of doing that, there becomes this feeling of feeling stuck or lost or discontentment with life. And if you don't begin to do the work required for you, you will now blame your children. You're going to blame your husband. You're going to blame the marriage because you're going to be telling yourself, I did all these things for you all. I gave my whole life to this situation, and this is what I get in return. But the problem is not your spouse always, or your children, or the family. It could just be your internal, talk or your internal work where you've given up on you. You've decided that you don't know what your dreams are. You don't know what your passions are. You don't know how to invest in that part of yourself. And because of that, now you're feeling the emptiness and the void. And because we are hardwired to look outside of ourselves instead of internally, it's easier to blame our spouse, our marriage, our children, instead of looking within to say, hey, there's something greater and better I could be doing for my life. So I encourage you, make sure you stay connected to your passions, your dreams, your ideas, your hobbies, those things that you were doing maybe before you got married, or the things you thought about doing and you haven't done yet. Join a class, write that book you're talking about writing. And listen, if you're the person who says, Kanisha, I don't have a lot of time. Today, in today's society, writing a book means I have my phone, I'm going to set up a voice memo, and I'm going to record what it is I want to say in my book. And then later you can go back and have it transcribed by either some AI technique or hire someone on Fiverr. What I'm saying is don't let your dreams die because you tell yourself you don't have time. There are many ways to do that today. I recently helped a young lady self-publish her second children's book. And it's something she had been wanting to do for years. So if there is a book inside of you, there is some vision or dream or goal you have, don't buy into this idea that you don't have time, or because of my marriage, because of my children, because of my family, because of my husband, I can't invest in myself. Until you invest in yourself, you will feel like you're losing something, that you're giving up something. And your family may be experiencing all of that energy from a negative way and they're not enjoying you. So I encourage you, one of the things you have to do in your marriage is still remain the individual. Remember, God made you uniquely. There's gifts and talents inside of you that He wants to use, even outside of your marriage. So stay, like, be you. and invest in who that is. The second thing I encourage you to do is begin to examine your expectations. Like, what did you bring with you into the marriage? What kind of expectations do you have? Are they spoken or unspoken? Do you have these unrealistic expectations? Do you have these, list of, I call the invisible list of shoulds? He should know. She should know about this. She should know how to do this. They should just get it. What are your list of shoulds? Do you need to evaluate them to say, is this realistic? Is this even fair? And here's the question to really help you dig to see how this is going. Can you be the thing that you're asking or insisting that your partner be? Can you do all the things that you're asking and insisting that your partner should do based on these expectations that maybe you've gotten from some television show or something you saw in your family? And sometimes we work really hard to be the opposite of what we've seen, and we don't really understand how to be it. So all we know to do is to force this concept or this idea on the other person. Well, you're never going to talk to me this kind of way, or you're never going to be this, or you're never going to do that. Whatever your list is, in your efforts to not have what you've seen. But I encourage you, do better than that. Instead of having a list of expectations, get clear about your emotional needs and learn to communicate from your needs instead of your expectations. When you communicate from your needs, you create connection. When you communicate from expectations, especially unrealistic expectations, you create divide. So begin to think about, what are the things I came into the marriage with expectations of? What are the things I'm expecting of my spouse now that it seems like they can't ever hit the mark? And then ask yourself, are these expectations realistic? Are they fair? And if you think they are, ask someone else. Like, ask someone who could maybe have a non-biased opinion about the thing, not your mom or their mom. Like, ask someone who literally, that they can be very non-biased in this question, so that they can help you evaluate if your expectation is realistic. Thirdly, heal, heal, heal. I will forever, ever, ever, ever believe that God created our marriages so that we can heal. I just believe it. I believe that if we were willing to recognize that the reason our spouse get on our last nerve, or drive us crazy, or do all of the things, yes, they may be the annoying person you think they are, but here's the thing: you married them. So there was something about them before that you thought was adorable, attractive, loving, that you would commit your life to them. So now, if they are annoying you so much, could it be that God is using that to draw your attention to the part of you that need to be healed? Listen, again, when I say that, I'm not talking about ignoring that maybe your spouse have some abusive tendencies and those kind of things. But I am asking you, if it's not abusive, it's just a lot of frustration and things you don't understand. And they get on my last nerve for things that other people go, girl, that's not a big deal. Or guy, man, you tripping. If you hear that a lot, go in, look, see what's in, because sometimes we're holding our spouses responsible for hurt and pain that other people created. And so when they irritate that hurt and pain, we lash out the anger, the frustration, the pain from something that happened in the past. We're lashing it out on our spouse. And you do not want to do that. We want to create marriages that are loving, kind, fun, joyous, like where you can enjoy yourself. Your marriage should offer you more laughter and joy than it offers you frustration and sadness. Now, there are seasons for everything. There are going to be challenging times, but because you guys committed to marrying each other, because you saw something in each other at some point that you said, hey, I want to make you my person, do all you can to get back to that part of you where you can, again, date. Date like you just got to know each other. Date like you're excited about it. Um, Spend time or make time for your spouse as though they're the new person in your life. And I think if you do that work, if you maintain your identity, like remember who you are and what you like, the dreams and visions you had maybe prior to marriage, and you're working on those things, think about the excitement you now have of talking about things with your spouse. If you remain who you are, if you get to share your passions with them. And then if you begin to evaluate those expectations, and lastly, you allow yourself to recognize that some of the stuff that you're carrying is stuff from your past, and you're doing the work to heal. And some of the ways you can do that work is you can hire a coach, you can hire a counselor, you can get in a support group. Our church Word tab has small groups, so become a part of a small group. But you need someone else to help you see how you're moving in relationship so that you can be the amazing woman or man that God made you to be. I pray this has been a blessing. I ask that you do me a favor. Would you like, share, and subscribe to my videos? And will you subscribe to my new channel, Think Your Way to a Better Marriage? It's there that you're going to start getting all this content and even more. So I thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. And I get a lot of you watching the replay. So please put something in the comments to let me know that you're watching. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.